So may we pray. Loving, gracious God, we are here once again, not only to hear your message, but to prepare ourselves for the coming of Christ as we begin this season of Advent. So God, help us to open our hearts and minds this day to hear your message through your humble servant, we pray. Amen. So, imagine now it's actually Advent. It's hard to believe that it's already almost the end of this year, end of 2019. And yet, we've already been primed with, really, since even before Halloween, I think, this year. We've been seeing Christmas decorations, we've been hearing Christmas music, we've been getting all of our Christmas catalogs in the mail. Even if you don't normally get them, they send them to you at Christmas time. You're getting all these deals for Black Friday, and now there's, yesterday was Small Business Saturday. I don't know what today is, but tomorrow is Cyber Monday. And so we have all these different things that are just inundating us right now, trying to entice us into not only the Christmas spirit, but to buy gifts and go shopping. But we also have these wonderful, besides all the wonderful Christmas carols, we have all the Christmas movies on TV. If you haven't watched the Hallmark Channel or Lifetime or whatever, they've been televising, I think, since the end of October. So by now you should have gotten into the Christmas spirit. But we're not there yet. This is the season of Advent. This is the time of preparation and anticipation. And so we want to help prepare ourselves for the coming of the Christ child, the coming of the light to dispel all the darkness. And so that's why I shared with you from the book of Isaiah, that passage. And so imagine this. Imagine what this prophet Isaiah is saying. Imagine a stage, and the curtain rises, and there's a light shining on one single person, a prophet. And the prophet is there in the circle of light, and he begins to sing a song of a mountain that's so high that all the nations are streaming to it, because this is the mountain where God is. And everybody is going there because they're willing to hear that holy instruction, and also willing to make peace with one another. And then as the song is ending, there's another sound that rises. There's the ringing sound of hammers striking metal. And what are those hammers doing? They're beating all those swords, all those spears, all those weapons of mass destruction that they had back then. They're beating them into plowshares and pruning hooks. Imagine that being the first sound that they heard. And as we begin this new year for the church, which is when Advent begins, the start of our new Christian calendar, imagine seeing those swords and those spears now turning into those plowshares and pruning hooks. So, what is Isaiah's vision really telling us? It's almost as much as a dream of a future with hope. Well, let's break it down frame by frame. First of all, Isaiah is declaring something about God's future, where the holiest ground becomes the highest ground, above all other elevations. It's going to be the place of awe, and people are going to flock to it. And so God is calling all these nations to come to this holy mountain. And there's a new community that is being gathered there. All different nations, multicultures, multiracial, multilingual. They are all there to hear God's instructions. Because that's also not only where God's going to teach, but God will also share justice among the peoples. They are about to make peace. Peace among them all. It's going to be the ending of all iniquity. It's going to be the ground for the ending of all violence. And the nations are going to accept whatever God judges at the time. And so, because of that, then there's a disarming of all their weapons. All those weapons are gone. And instead, those weapons that were once used to fight and kill one another and harm one another, instead are going to be made into tools tools for nurturing the soil, for bringing food, for helping bring health to all the peoples. Imagine a change from weapons to nurture. And so then all those reasons that they may have had for envy and greed and resentment, all those things have been wiped away. And now those weapons are no longer relevant. And those resources that they use for battle are now available for that provision of health, for life and communal growth. These instruments of taking life are now converted to implements for sustaining life. So instead of taking life, they wanted to sustain life. And now what they've learned is, instead of learning about war, now they're returning to learn the ways of God. Imagine that. Instead of learning about violence and hate and vengeance, they let go of that and they open themselves up to learn about God and the Word of God and the ways of God. But it doesn't just end there. It doesn't just end with them going to the mountain to hear all this. Because at the end, Isaiah says, you need to walk in the light. It's urging us to walk into the light. Well, this is a wonderful vision that Isaiah has. And wouldn't we love to see peace in our world today? Sadly, we may never see that in our lifetime. We may see peace in different places, but there's always something that erupts someplace. All you have to do is turn on the news any given day, and you see something that has happened, some tragedy, someone who lashed out against innocent people. And there are other countries that are at war with one another, or tribes that are at war with one another. So we see all this every day. But Isaiah was saying, someday, in days to come, and we don't know when that is, when God will take all this away. So Isaiah says this in days to come, and he had a dream. He had this vision. And it would be a wonderful vision. And we know that back in the 1960s, there was another man who had a dream. Martin Luther King, Jr. Remember his profound speech that he said in Washington, D.C.? He had a dream. He dreamt that his children would be able to live in harmony, where there wouldn't be people judging one another by the color of their skin, where people could accept one another and learn to live together, where there wouldn't be differentiation just because of what you looked like. Well, we've made some progress, but not enough. We're still a long ways away. And all you have to do again is see the news these last few years. Remember what happened in Charleston just a few years ago, that terrible church. Not the church was terrible, but that terrible situation that happened when all these African Americans invited this man into Bible study, a white man, and he went ahead and took a gun and shot them and killed so many of them. What dreams do we have? What hopes do we have? Isaiah is not only talking about the peace, but he's trying to give the people hope, that there is hope for the future. And if there is hope, especially if we walk in the light, if we embrace the light that is to come, the light that we know that is Christ in the world, if we embrace that light and live that way, we can help dispel some of the darkness that is around us. So for us, in this time when sometimes we see these bleak realities, where we see sorrow and despair thriving in so many, how can we believe in Isaiah's vision? It may seem a mystery to us, but there are ways where we can still embrace the light that is coming into the world, where we too can learn from God, because God is going to give us an incredible gift. And we celebrate it every 25th of December. We celebrate that gift of life, that in a baby born to Mary. It's the light of the world that comes to dispel all darkness. So let us see if there are ways that we can find joy. A joy that we can embrace, that we know that is steadfast and faithful. A joy that courses through all the cosmos, nurturing and sustaining life, regardless of our attention to it. It's there all around us, even when we think things look bleak. There are ways that we can see that the light is there. All we have to do is look. So, when we try and paint a picture of this world, or of this temple that's high in the mountains like Isaiah, where disputes are settled peacefully and the swords are turned into plowshares and the spears into pruning hooks, what is it that we can envision for our future? What is it that we can hope for in our lives? Think about those questions I put in the bulletin for you. What or who needs to be lifted up in hope this day? Are there people that you know that need to be lifted up? And where have we ourselves fallen down celebrating the beauty of all the beings, of everything all around us? And how can we embrace being unified together? How can we let go of our biases, our stereotypes that we have in our world? How can we let go of that and just see the Christ in each person and embrace the fact that each of us are a child of God? And what keeps us from making room in our lives for God? Any of you been busy lately? I know some of you cooked up a storm for Thanksgiving, right? I know some of you were busy traveling someplace or going someplace to be with family and friends. Some of you may have even been doing some shopping, right? There's been so many things going on. This is a busy time. Even our church, we said earlier today, check the white insert because there's a lot of things going on. And it's all wonderful. But do we also, in those things, do we realize that God is present in the midst of all of that? Do we seek God out when we're in the midst of doing those ministries? Or are we too busy just doing and getting things done that we forget that God is there with us? Because remember where it says, where two or more are gathered, Christ is there, right? Christ is among us. And all the wonderful things that we have coming our way, all the wonderful ministries that we're going to be doing, the ones that we have done and the ones that are coming the rest of this month. Don't you think God's going to be there with us? So let's take a moment and see the God in others. See what God is doing in the midst of all of us. And if you don't have any hope right now, think about what it is that is preventing you from being hopeful at this time of year. Are we helping others, and are we contributing to being hopeful at this time of year or any day of the year? Or are we the voice of negativity? Do we always criticize something when somebody comes with an idea? Do we just downplay, so that's not going to work? Or it's like, oh, we've tried that before, it's not going to work. Let us open our hearts and our minds. Let us be willing to not only embrace the light that is coming into this world, but let us realize that there is joy, even through all the things that we experience each and every day and what we see on the news. If you don't see the joy, be the joy. Be the joy to others and fill them with hope. Amen.